Welcome to the I Am Eden podcast. Eden is not just a place, it's a state of being. It is the consciousness of abundance, a mindset rooted in divine purpose. It is a path to healing and a call to surrender to a higher purpose. In this series, we embark on a journey to live in the flow of the true Garden of Eden, a life of flourishing and deliberate creation. I Am Eden is a movement, a platform to provide clarity, awaken vision, and ignite divine inspiration. We invite you into this sanctuary of reflection and discovery. Welcome to Eden.
This is a story about the garden we lost and the grace we must reclaim in order to return to Eden. In the beginning, Eden was not just a garden, it was home, a sanctuary of intimacy, divine presence, and unbroken connection. Adam and Eve's removal from the garden wasn't just about losing a place. It was the loss of connection, a sacred space of peace and communion with God. When they stepped out of Eden, they stepped into silence, a world where God's voice felt distant, a world where fear found a home in the human heart. That was the first heartbreak. This disconnection that was born in Eden did not just end there. It wasn't just a historical event. It was the start of a pattern. It was the beginning of a deep disconnection passed down through generations. And we are still feeling it today. We often speak about the declining moral compass of our youth. We speak of teenage pregnancy, suicide, gender-based violence, and substance abuse. We speak of broken men and broken women. And we speak of the failure of communities and failing systems. But what we don't often ask ourselves is, why? Where did it all begin, and how did we get here? Let's go back to the original disconnection, the fall from Eden. The fall marked the beginning of a cycle where independence became a trap rather than a way to true prosperity. It set in motion a world where community broke down, just as we see today. We don't speak enough about the first and most important community, the family unit. We don't discuss how that community is crumbling. We don't talk enough about the fall from grace that starts in the home. We don't talk about the disintegration of the family unit and the breakdown of foundational values. But we must remember that we were designed for communion, not just with one another, but with the one who breathed life into us. In the story of Eden, the serpent offered an illusion, a promise wrapped in pride, a shortcut disguised as strength. He told them they were wiser, better, more free on their own. And in that moment, the seed of separation was sown. By choosing to eat the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve embraced the lie that self-reliance was better than being dependent on God. And their choice led to conflict, struggle, and separation, not only from God, but from each other. That same illusion continues today. The belief that we must do it all alone, that we don't need anyone, that the I is greater than we. This belief destroys the foundation of community and unity. But the truth is, Adam and Eve did not know fear, pride, doubt, or shame. Like a child who dreams freely, they lived without limitations. That was God's intention, for us to live without fear, without the barriers of doubt. Because God is love, and fear is the opposite of love. And without fear, nothing is impossible. But the serpent's so-called gift of enlightenment was an unveiling of fear, shame, and doubt. It was the beginning of the fall, the loss of innocence, the loss of divine presence. And today, this deception persists. Society tells us, you don't need anyone. Build alone. But at what cost? At the cost of abundance, at the cost of being removed from the garden, at the cost of being disconnected from God. Today we walk through life more disconnected than ever. We live in a time where the self is glorified over the we or the us. The idea of community and collaboration has crumbled. We live in a me space, a promotion of the individual above the collective efforts. The stories we hear are, I did it all by myself. It was my dream and I made it happen. But where are the stories about the power of connection and collaboration? Who speaks about the times their spouse held them in moments of weakness? Who honors the sister whose words lifted them up? Who can attest for the days they found strength simply by remembering they had children who depended on them? Who can say that they woke up to face another day, not because of personal ambition, but because they have families to provide for? Those stories are fading, and with them, we continue to fall from grace. Sometimes, the reason you keep moving is not you. It is that friend who speaks life into you, who gave you courage. It is the spiritual teacher who gave you counsel and taught you how to pray. It is the mentor who encouraged you or opened doors for you. Or you find strength in a prophecy, a promise, or in the Word of God. The truth is, you did not get here alone. You stood on words spoken in passing. You survived because someone prayed when you had no words of your own. You kept going because someone saw you when you could not see yourself. For many of us, that is the real story. So we must begin to honor those who helped us, who have given us guidance and believed in us, not with loud proclamations, but helping us with quiet support in our weak moments. Because in our weakest days, when doubt consumes us, that is when darkness seeks in to pull us lower. In Eden, we call them the forgotten helpers. So you must look at yourself honestly and say, I am not equipped for this. I don't yet have the wisdom, the knowledge, or the capacity to do this alone. But we live in a time that glorifies self-sufficiency and individual achievement. We are told we must have it all figured out, and so we hide our limitations. We step into roles unprepared. We are afraid to say, I don't know how to do this. I don't understand how to be a husband or wife. I don't know how to raise a child alone. I don't have the tools for this journey. So we are afraid to ask for help. Afraid to say, I need to learn, I need counsel, I need guidance, I need to be led. So we don't seek knowledge, not from our elders, not from spiritual leaders, because we're supposed to have the answers. But here's the tragedy. Then we fail, and we feel shame for failing at things we were never taught. Like being pulled from an English class into a physics exam and failing. Society convinces us that others are doing it all effortlessly. The perfect CEO, the perfect spouse, the perfect parent, all in one by themselves. But no one tells us, seek knowledge first. Seek understanding for what you aspire to, whether it's building a family, raising children, or navigating relationships. You must first prepare and gain understanding, just like studying for any degree. The truth is, we need mentors, we need teachers, we need guides, we need help. The absence of guidance on the essential life skills and family roles leads to societal failure because individuals struggle without the knowledge they need to fulfill their life roles effectively. And so we continue falling from grace. The family unit disintegrates, community fades, morality deteriorates, and the void deepens. We find ourselves in a world where values are broken, norms are lost, confusion rules our children. We are disconnected from divine values and wisdom, and disconnected from community and the collective consciousness of society. This disconnection weakens our social structures, and the society continues to be ignorant, struggling to maintain order. People wander without direction and purpose. They struggle to find identity or meaning, and they become more isolated. Hopelessness begins. Depression rises. Suicide rates increase because there are no clear standards that create order and unity in our communities. And where are those social norms taught? In the family unit. The breakdown of the family is the beginning of the fall from grace, because it strips people of their foundation and support structure, and the enemy knows this. The serpent always attacks the first community, the family. This attack on the family slows down your growth, erodes your wealth, compromises your reputation, sows confusion in your life, and disrupts the foundation you have built. And once the family falls apart, the individual suffers. Success becomes weighed down by brokenness and trauma. Once the family falls apart, the children suffer and the society deteriorates as a consequence. When we look at strong, wealthy nations and cultures, they have one thing in common: a foundation rooted in collaboration, family, and support. So they build further, rise higher, and rebuild faster and stronger than those that don't have strong family structures. A strong community structure and collaborative support lead to long-term success and resilience. And these societies are the strongest societies we see today, because they understand the strength of connection, community, and unity. And that strength begins with creating a unified and strong family. Throughout history, civilizations that abandoned family structures and moral foundations eventually crumbled. Societies rise or fall on the strength of their family unit. When the family weakens, communities become unstable, children lack guidance, marriages dissolve, generations inherit brokenness and trauma instead of wisdom. And when we remove divine knowledge, we leave a void society cannot fill. If the family is not restored, we will continue to see a rise in purposelessness, instability, and hopelessness. So how do we rise again? We start at the beginning. We return to the first community, the family. If we are to build stronger, we must first rebuild and strengthen the foundation, because for any house to stand, its foundation must be built on the rock. We must build our families and communities on the rock of ages, God. Building on divine wisdom, divine principles, and divine truth is the way to rise into grace. We must uproot deception, ignorance, and pride, and plant seeds of divine knowledge, light, and truth. To reclaim grace, we must return not just to God, but to one another. We must move from I to we, from isolation to divine communion. And in doing so, we restore what was lost, heal ourselves, heal our families, and re-establish divine order the way God originally intended. The return to Eden is a restoration. It calls us to leave behind ego, fear, and pride, because they hinder our personal and collective growth. The return to Eden requires us to embrace connection, collaboration, and rebuild the strength of community. It calls us to honor sisterhood and brotherhood, to live a life with others and for others, to seek counsel in the right places, learn from the right teachers, and be guided by the right mentors. The return for Eden calls us to be led, to ask for wisdom, to seek divine guidance in building personal and professional success. Because fruitlessness and lack of success is a result of self-dependency and self-reliance outside of community. But fruitfulness, longevity, and success, both personal and as a society, come from one final truth, a divine truth that echoes through time and scripture, and that is this: it is not good for man to be alone. building strong families, creating legacies, and lasting impact all require united effort. Great things are never achieved in isolation. In helping us return to grace, Jesus speaks of a farmer who planted seeds. Some fell on the path and were eaten by birds. Some fell on shallow soil and quickly withered because they had no root. Some were choked by thorns, but some fell on good soil, multiplying 30, 60, some 100 times. Jesus came to restore us, to make us good soil again. The fall and the rise in grace is about recognizing divine truth and building in alignment with it. The cross is not just a symbol of forgiveness, but a doorway to restoration, realignment, and reconnection with divine truth. In seeking divine truth, it is important to know what to listen to, but also necessary to know what to listen out for. Divine truth has a voice, a soul. It whispers. It is the whisper in the storm. Divine truth is the gentle nudge, not the strong push. It comes with peace and never confusion. It brings order and not chaos. It restores. It is a space of rest. Divine truth comes with inner conviction, the divine confidence to move forward. It comes with grace and purpose. In living under divine truth, we build strong and we build what lasts. We truly build our lives upon the rock, that when storms rage, our house may stand. The wells of divine truth never dry up. We rise not because we are strong, but because we are held by grace, held by love, held by a purpose that is born in communion with others and with God. We lost Eden, but we did not lose God. We lost direction, but not the way back. We must return from isolation to intimacy, from pride to humility, from I to we to God. This is your invitation. This is your call to Eden, to communion and to grace, to God, to one another, and to the sacred bond of family. May we rebuild what was broken, restore what was lost, and remember always, no one rises alone. Welcome to Eden.
Thank you for listening to the I Am Eden podcast. We invite you to share your thoughts and insights through messages and voice notes. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring content that nurtures your spirit and guides your path. Thank you for being part of our Eden community. Have a divine and inspired journey. Welcome to Eden.